Okay, cool.
Coming, we're gonna go ahead and get started because we want to make this good and sweet and short. We'll do where we need to go, all right? Without further ado, I'm gonna introduce my wife, Angelina. She's done, what I've been doing up there for 2.5 years, she did it for 5 years before me. Before I even started, she was doing this. So she has a lot of good knowledge, and, and I try to use it as much as I can, to keep me getting through. But she volunteered to help. She said she wanted to do something, so here we are. So I'm going to introduce my wife, Angelina.
Thank you. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Thank you all for coming out, and thank you all for having me. First of all, don't be afraid of the packets. I know it's a lot of paper, but it's for you all to take home and just reflect on. I like giving information to where you can utilize it. And a lot of times we talk about things and it's just overwhelming sometimes. So don't be alarmed. So it's just for your own benefit if it's something you need. So again, I'm grateful to be here. Like my husband said, I am a nurse. I do life coaching. I do a lot of things. I do wellness, advocacy, all kinds of things. But my focus, I love to focus on senior care. It's in nursing in 16 years, that's what I've always done, is senior care. And there's something significant about people that are involved in that healthcare, as far as family members as advocates, as well as healthcare staff and providers. So with that being said, we're going to talk about mental health awareness, which is the focus for the month of May. This is a conversation that's important because a lot of us go through things and we don't realize that it's affecting our mental well-being. And so what I want to focus on is mental balance is the key to this, okay? So we're going to bring awareness to mental health and identify challenges. Briefly, we'll talk about healing from family turmoil as caregivers and advocates, and then setting healthy boundaries, okay? Thank you so much. Disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not giving medical advice. So do not take it like that. I'm just sharing what I know with you all. I want to encourage you all to feel free to engage. If you have any questions or comments or any thoughts, please share those, okay? Everything on here that has questions or whatever for you to fill out, that's for you, okay? I might ask you a couple things about some of these. You're not pressed to answer.
No, homework.
No. Just so free to reflect on it, okay? So starting out, my motto at Clearest Conscious-HLC lifestyle coaching is promoting empowerment through through acknowledgement, accountability, and integrity. That is my motto with life coaching. I do holistic lifestyle coaching because we have to be able to be whole and well-rounded, So if our finances are good, but our mindset isn't, it's not balanced. If our spirit's not well, but our physical it's not balanced. So that is my goal with life coaching. So with mental health, the first thing I want to ask you, if anyone wants to answer, please feel free to do so. Does anyone have any thoughts when you first hear the word mental health? Anybody? You don't have to share, but if you'd like to.
Something that's going on, it would be terrifying with somebody and you just don't know it. Mm-hmm. Because, we all put on a face to go to work or what have you. Mm-hmm. So what comes to mind in mental health? Well, people that have a challenge internally, mm-hmm. And perhaps it's like a chemical, something going on chemically, mm-hmm. that helps them. They have to take medicine for it, or mm-hmm. they have to take medicine for it.
Right. And see, I think the second question is and thank you for sharing that. The second question is when it comes to discussing mental health, how do we feel? A lot of times when we hear that term mental health, we automatically think illness or disease, and we deflect having conversations about healing from things to be well in our mental stability, right? So just things for you all to think about and why we think this way. When it comes to well-being of your own mental health, how important is that? A lot of us as caregivers, as advocates, we're so busy with our own immediate families, with our loved ones, with self. We're all over the place a lot of times. And we neglect the fact that we need well balance, especially as caregivers, especially as loved ones that are advocates, right? That is so important. So what I want you all to do with number 5, and again, this is for you all to do in your spare time, but here there's 14 lists of healthcare issues or healthcare, I don't know what you want to call them, categories, I guess. So it says, marking between 1 and 14, 1 being the most important, 14 being the least important in your health. What I want you all to do in your spare time, anything that you all have going on in your health, circle those things. So if it's only 5 things, then what's important 1 through 5? Does that make sense? So, but the point to doing that is realizing that stress affects a lot of our health issues. So stress is a physical and emotional response. It's a response to what's going on around you, to challenging or threatening situations. It can affect your health by causing physical, emotional, and health problems, okay? Such as headaches, stomach problems, high blood pressure. How many of us are dealing with these things? Clogged artery, all these things. A lot of these things are contributed to stress and a buildup of stress. So I want to help you all get to a healthy place. If you look at page 13, there's a diagram of what stress looks like, okay? When affecting your body. And that's just kind of a sum of it. So you all take a look at that when you all have a chance. But breaking down mental health, like I asked, and thank you again so much for sharing your response. Mental health, we're going to break this down in 3 terms. Mental health is a state of well-being that enables people to cope with life's stresses and realize their potential. Okay, it's influenced by individual, social, and structural factors. Okay, so what's going on over here at Traditions? What's going on at your job? What's going on with your grandchildren? All these things play a part to that. Okay, so now we're talking about mental illness or disorder. We're talking about psychological and behavioral disturbances that are usually clinically diagnosed. Okay, and a lot of us are not clinically diagnosed. Like she said, there are things going on with the people's mental health and we don't know what's going on. Not having a conversation, not being comfortable to have a conversation, not being open to individuals' truths kind of makes it a little more difficult, for us to heal and grow. So when we look at mental balance, this is what I want us to get to. And I highlight these words because they're very important. I'm gonna read them all off, but the highlighted words are so important. Mental balance refers to a state of emotional, psychological, and mental well-being, that holistic approach, okay? Characterized by the ability to manage thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and stress effectively. Are we able to look at things as they are and be able to process without jumping off, without, getting anxious, without, falling apart? Are we able to manage those things? And it's a process. It involves having control over one's cognitive process, okay? When it comes to mental well-being, a lot of us don't feel like we have control over what's going on in our lives, what's going on with our families, and what's going on with self, including our health. So it's a matter of having control. Maintaining positive self-esteem. How many of us feel like we're overwhelmed, we're burnt out, we're doing all we can do, but it's never enough, and if somebody could if I don't have to, all these things that go on in our head. Maintaining positivity is so important. All you can do is what you can do, fostering good relationships and having a sense of purpose in life. Mental balance is a state of well-being that results in from freeing your mind. Okay, that's the key right there. Mental balance results from freeing your mind. Freeing your mind from guilt, from stress, from shame, all those things.
Where do you have that written down? I'm gonna highlight that.
Oh, all that highlighted right there, that yellow down there, that's where it is. I highlighted it for you.
Okay, great.
Freeing your mind of its afflicted and negative tendencies. You know, if mom is not doing good today, then I'm just not going to come back, because every time I do, and now I'm taking it home to my husband. You know, mom, I went to see mom. She's always yelling at me. She's always confused. You know, that negative energy. We have to find a balance for that. Realizing its potentials in terms of wisdom, compassion, and creativity. Okay, you have to be wise enough to know when you have to take a break, when you have to say, I can't do this today. You know, you have to be wise enough to do that. You have to have compassion for yourself as well as others to be able to say that. It's not healthy for me to come see mom if I'm stressed out. I'm already agitated, and it's not her fault with dementia, but you know, her forgetting things right now, it's just not a good time, you know? So how do we, that compassion, let's get creative. Well, I can't see mom today, but I'm gonna send some flowers over there, I'll send some balloons. You know, get creative with how you can spend your time more wisely, how you can balance yourself more wisely. And then it is a state in which affections and thoughts contribute to personal well-being, so that you feel full and at peace in order to fully develop to your potential. And that's what life is about. You know, we're always learning, we're always evolving, or we're standing still. Some of us go backwards, but the goal is to always learn and grow, you know, and sometimes stress will disallow you to dive into your full potential, you know, especially out of guilt and shame and all those kind of things. So somebody read my little quirky little thing right here. I figured I'd put some pictures in here for you all. So what does that have to do with dementia care? What does mental health have to do with this group right here? Okay. The goal of this conversation is to guide you towards a mindset of a more balanced lifestyle. And that starts with understanding the root cause of stress in order to be balanced. Okay. So here you all see there's a list of things that cause stress. Number one is what? Money. Everybody's got issues. The economy is all over the place. That stresses all of us out. I have bills. I don't want to look at certain bills. I ask my husband to open them. And if they look bad, don't tell me. They don't go away. They don't though. They don't, but that anxiety, right? They don't, but that's me. I'll say that's my lack of mental balance with that. You know, at the end I have to be responsible. I got to pay it, right? So number one, money. Number two is work. The case of the Mondays is a funny thing because it's actually a real thing where certain people have heightened anxiety on Sundays between 3 and 5 o'clock, stressed out about having to go to work on Monday, you know, and it's a routine thing. It's a habitual mindset. What happens if you don't go to work on Monday? You start on Tuesday. You'd have a case of the Tuesdays, you know, what do you do about that, right? It gets to the economy and then family responsibilities. So now I'm having to see dad over here, you know, spend time with dad, but my kids have soccer practice, you know, my husband has to work, you know, all these different things, stress factors. And then the personal health comes into play because of all those things that we just named that are unresolved, okay? If we look at the statistics on stress in America, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 12 people in here. So statistically, 1 in 5 adults have a mental illness. And that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It just means that there's a lack of balance. It's a dis-ease, right? Disease, it's a dis-ease. It's uncomfortable not to be well in any part of your body, right? Work stress. Again, is a big thing. Health impacts. You all can look at the statistics. I won't go too deep into that. But the statistics are there. I wrote those down for you. So, as a caregiver for your loved ones, those dealing with dementia or whomever else, all these issues are closely related. You know, they all go hand in hand. So when we're trying to juggle everything, We have to find a balance. Like I said, the bills are going to come, mortgage is going to come, they're going to come, things are going to happen. We have to be able to balance those things out. It affects, if you don't, it affects your lifestyle, your relationships, your responsibilities. Now I'm stressed out over here with Dad. I come home and I'm fussing at my husband. He didn't do anything, but I had to fuss at somebody. Now my kids are going to be like, I'm crazy. Oh, that's mom being crazy. It disrupts things. Now I'm depressed. I don't want to get up and go to work, but I'll go to work. But now my attitude is reflecting on my patients, right? Attitude is airborne, okay? Always remember that. Attitude is very airborne, okay? So catch some positivity, spread some positivity, because negativity is very, very infectious, but so is positivity, So we have to find a balance with that. That goes for healthcare providers too. So how many of us would agree, if you have a loved one here, would you agree that your loved one is the number one person on your list? Yes? Yeah. Doesn't mean anybody else is not important. But if it's my grandmother, she's number one, period. It's a balance with healthcare providers also. I'm going to tell you what. How many of you have heard my husband sing? Has anybody heard him sing? All the residents have. Your family members have heard him sing all day long. If he does not have his earbuds, he might call me back. My earbuds there. He needs it for the tunes, for the residents, and they love it. If you all have ever needed him, you can call him. If you don't see him here on Monday through Friday, it's because the knees are doing what they do. But he's gone a lot of days before he said, I can't do it today. He goes a distance. And it's not just him. It's this community. And they're awesome. I've met some of them. I've never heard him say anything bad about any team member over there. If something's wrong, he'll correct it, right? With love, but never anything bad. He talks about some of you all, always good things. This is a model,
Most of y'all. I'm just joking.
But this is what, he promotes mental balance for your loved ones. And it's not just him. He's been talking about the staff you all have over here now. He's so excited. He said, I'm so happy I got good staff, not just days, evenings. That is important. You have an advocate here. And high five to you all being advocates for your loved ones. You have an advocate here. The rest of the leadership management, they're all on the same team. And that's a beautiful thing. But they're only as good, this building is only as good as the staff. And they're only as good as what you hold people accountable to. So that's a big deal. So with that being said, before we move on, because we're going to be done here in a second. This is going to be quick. Not too quick. You all can talk if you want. Before we move on with that, speaking of healthcare providers, if you all don't know, really quickly, this is my husband's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't do it.
So he's very happy to be here with you all. It was not an option to take off today. He's here. They're here. So
When you get older, you gotta work on your birthday. It's just.
that's right.
You're over 29.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm 30.
Are you 30?
No, I'm not. I'm a lot older than 30. A lot older than 30.
So, you all make sure you stay in communication with those that are taking care of your loved ones, okay? We only know what we know.
And that's the reason I give out cards, because I don't want you to feel like you all can always reach out to me. I don't care if it's, I answer it after 10 because I go to bed at 9, but you can always reach out to me, even on the weekends. I make things happen from home. I make things happen. So, if something's going on that you're uncomfortable with, you always can reach out to me. That's the reason I get the cards. But always. There's no circumstance where you can't reach out to me. You need something, reach out.
And that's super important. So hope everybody has his card.
It's important because how you all feel is important. It's important to me because then it's important to to the residents, you know. So it's very important. If you feel something is not right or something's wrong, or not just something that you want to do better, you know, communicate with me. We work something out. I don't have the answers to everything, so I'm interested in anybody bringing the answers. Always. Even my crew, I tell them, you know, I don't know it all. If you got better answers, the way to do this, let me know, and we can work through it.
Absolutely. He's big. I know breakfast is a big deal with him, with the staff. You know, that's a big deal. When there are days he comes in at 9, and he sits there and thinks to himself, well, I'm going at 9. Is breakfast going to be right? That's a really big deal. You know, making sure your families get fed. That's a big deal. So definitely utilize the resources that you have so that you don't have to be so stressed out. You know, it's stressful being a caregiver. It's stressful being an advocate and a family member dealing with dementia. Do you want to say? I'm sorry.
No, I guess you saw a question, right?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I was basically just wondering, what does the continuity look like? I know it says here you're basically memory care, which is third floor. So how's the coordination process, or is that distinctly different depending on the population that you're working with?
I got 40 residents right now, and it's a routine.
Okay,
You know,
on the third floor or throughout?
The third floor.
Okay.
I only deal with the third floor.
Okay,
It's enough.
that was my point. Just asking basically, was there coordination? Because I know you probably receive a lot of residents who are like first and second floor, who ultimately end up on your third
Sometimes,
floor.
yeah.
And
Sometimes.
then I guess the coordination occurs at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and when somebody moves from one floor to another,
Right.
it's everybody's involved in this. The families, and usually I'm the last person to find out that they're coming. Well, I mean, they've already worked. They already know the powers that be already know. The family already know that they need to be up here. I'm the last person, and when I get it though, then we all work as a team. It's a team. The families are very important to the team. We got the staff, and then we have other things that are around it to help. So we're always looking for, and that's why I say anybody that can give me more advice or ideas. I'm always looking for ideas, because what we do is it's a routine. The morning we get them up, for the most part. You know, we have a few people that don't get up early. You know, and we take them breakfast to their room, but for the most part, they all get up, they eat. You know, it's a routine. You get the routine going, because with dementia, they need a routine. They need a routine, and it ain't gonna always work out. It's dementia. It's not gonna always work out. Some days are gonna be better than others. It's not gonna be. Some days they're gonna be frustrated. Some days they're not gonna want to do it. You know, I got a guy that, you have to literally get in his face and talk to him. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this, this, and this, and then he's okay. But if you sneak up on him or you come around in the wrong way, he's pretty strong for 99. He's pretty strong. So but everybody has those kind of days, you know. So it's a matter of being patient. It's being respectful and being kind. Those are important things on memory care. If you don't have those three, you can't work up there. And I don't want you working up there. I don't want you working up there. So it's a routine. You get a good routine going, and you keep them in that routine, you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully I answered that.
Have you ever considered like dog therapy? You know, I brought Ava up there the other day, I have a small dog. Of course, they all want to pet her, no matter whether it's first, second, or third floor. And the one lady on the third floor, not cry, because she said, "You've just made my day," because she got to pet my dog. Is that allowed?
Yeah, sometimes there are some people that come in and bring their dogs and let them pet them. I mean, we got a couple of people that don't like dogs, but
Right.
but other than that, yeah, that we do that
I thought
sometimes.
that was so cool.
Yeah.
That my dog behaved herself.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's a good dog. She really is.
Yeah.
So, but I just thought, well, maybe I could bring her.
You can. Yes, you can.
That would be neat. Do you all do it where you have to have it, like, make sure, a lot of places want to make sure they have the shots and everything,
I mean, don't bring them if they bite people.
Well, no, well, they have teeth. Anything with teeth bites, so. But no, I'm just saying, I think that's the only stipulation from what I've seen is, just to show the records, when you're having as a therapy dog there. So, yeah. Oh, what kind of dog is it? What kind of dog?
King Charles Cavalier / Bichon.
Okay.
She has the ears of a Cavalier, but the body more of a Bichon. In the temperament, she's just very calm.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up.
She's a cool little dog.
Oh, bring her on up. So, did anyone have any questions really quick? No? You guys are awesome for being here at 5:00 with the traffic and everything. Thank you again. Okay, so setting boundaries. Okay, setting boundaries starts with what you will and will not say yes or no to. Setting that my little faces on there. You like my faces? My husband, like I said, he is so cool. If he was on fire, as long as he can see a fire extinguisher, he's cool. This is me, dramatic all day.
She taught me to be patient. Okay? I'm very patient. I'm a very patient man. Very patient. It's all her fault.
So with this, how would you best describe your current state as a caregiver advocate? Again, this is something you all can just think about later on. And this is why. A lot of times we feel obligated to do things, but again, there's not a good balance. And a lot of times we do things out of obligation, out of lack of other support, right? And a lot of times we do it because we don't want to disappoint people. We don't want to say no to someone. I remember when I used to work, I do home care right now. So when I be in the facilities and they'd ask me to work over, my compassion is huge. A couple nights ago, I had a patient that needed a catheter change and she's in so much pain. The on-call person wasn't going to come out, right? And so they said, send her to the ER. It would have taken so much time to do that. What time did we leave? Probably left about
10:30.
I think we left about 10:30. We got home about 1. Right.
We left.
Yeah. And so that's my compassion. So if somebody asks me to pick up a shift, can you stay over? I'm not going to tell you no. I'll be like, let me call my husband and see what he says. And then I'll duck you the whole time. So you don't ask me because I don't want to tell you no. But I don't want to leave my patients so stuck, my residents so stuck. I'm hoping somebody else will come through. So it's very difficult for a lot of us to just say no. Well, why not? Why can't you? We don't want to have to answer why not. Just guys, no. So this is what I've come up with. I love words and I love acronyms. No, not optional, not obligated. Can I stay over a little later? It's not optional. The hours might be there on the table as an option, but not for me. Can you say, mom needs to go to the doctor, I'm supposed to take her, but not optional, and it's hard to say that, I'm not obligated, well, you're supposed to because, you're her daughter too, you're her son too. That doesn't obligate anybody. It should, but it doesn't, So what happens when you say yes? The acronym I had for that was yield exceptional service. Yield means to produce or provide, okay? Exceptional is unusually good or outstanding. When I think about unusually good, the norms today are so strange. I don't like the new norms. So for me, I think, you all being here might seem basic, but it's exceptional. It's a big deal. You could have been somewhere else. This is exceptional what you all are doing, and that matters. It's outstanding. And then service, the action of helping or doing work for someone. So if you are not willing and able to produce outstanding actions that benefit yourself as well as others, don't be so quick to say yes. Okay? It's okay. It's okay to think before you step into something. I'm really bad about doing something, and I'll start complaining, now I got to go do this. Now I got to. He'll be like, well, why did you say yes? Well, I had to. No, that's not true. It's not true at all. So how can we get to this balance where we feel whole and healthy and full of peace? 8 ways that we have here. Prioritizing self-care. Okay. It doesn't mean that every Friday I go to the spa or every other week I get my hair done. It might just mean that every morning I get up an hour early to just focus, to get my stuff together, to have some peace, to meditate. It might mean that I go out for a walk, might mean I just put down the phone and close the laptop. Prioritizing self-care is important and not being robotic about it, practicing mindfulness and meditation. I'm going to skip down to 2 where it talks about meditation and prayer. The biggest difference with that is, and I don't want to get all religious on you all, but the biggest difference with prayer and meditation, prayer is expressing something. You're expressing a need. You're expressing something. Okay, expressing whatever you're expressing. Meditation is focusing on that which you're asking for. Okay, so I'm praying, God, help me do this, make way I know whatever's going on. But are you meditating on what you're putting out in the universe? I hope mom had a good day. How would you know? How could you're praying that she had a good day, but now you're worried, because I wasn't there. I hope she had a good day. But if you close your eyes and meditate and be mindful of positive things, yes, I know mom had a good day. Kevin might not be there, but I know she's in good hands. We have to be intentional about what we put out into the universe. Seeking social support, which is what you all are doing here. And there are so many other, and shout out to Traditions at North Willow, but there are a lot of different support groups for dementia throughout the month that you all can go to. I know the libraries do them. You just have to look for them. But if you need extra support, it's out there. And it's cool that you all are here because you can take this to someone else that might need help. So we're all in this together, right? Setting realistic goals. People say, if only I had more time in the day, if only I had more hours in the day. Everybody has 24 hours. From the richest to the poorest, from the smartest to the not so smart. We all have 24 hours in a day. How do you use it? We're not setting realistic goals when we're running around doing everything. We're always busy. But are we accomplishing anything? I feel good. I came to see mom, and I ran to the store and, I worked today and I picked the kids up, but now I don't want to cook. And I know I got to pay this bill. But maybe later, I don't want to. We have to be realistic about how we spend our time and our energy, and don't overwhelm yourself. I think it's a good idea every day, 3 things that you need to do, that you must do, just 3. Don't overwhelm yourself. If you can't get those 3 things done and you've gotten everything else done, how important was it to you? Or you're not prioritizing appropriately, Go ahead.
I've got something that might help. I still work and take care of my mom. Over here, but I started using index cards again. I think I learned in college. So I have a master list because I always carry. I'm old school. I have to carry,
I love it.
Old school, not old. Anyway, well, I can't. If I use put something in my phone, it's just lost forever.
Yes.
But then, so I don't get overwhelmed with my master to-do list. I use my index cards, and I fold it in half, and do a line in the middle. One side says where I need to go and what I need to do. And if that gets too full, I just then in the morning I get to work early. I put 3 things on each side. It's one index card, and I can either do it at lunch when I get up at work at 3:30, and then write the priority. What mom thing do I need to do? Thing for myself, thing for my family, whatever. So it's just a little 4x6 index card for just a little tip I learned back in college.
I like that.
But just chunking it down and write. I have to write things down physically. You see it. One thing I learned years ago, when you cross the thing off your list, it gives you this little burst of.
But you accomplished something.
Right.
Yes.
I do
Yes.
this every morning.
And that's where it's rewarding. Thank you for sharing that. Let me ask you, do you feel like using a card is more compartmentalizing than putting it on a big, a notebook where it's like does it seem less overwhelming?
So I learned, because then I'll look at it and then I do nothing. it's analysis paralysis. So I just have to then choose, one out of 18 things or 18 million things, just what needs to get done today. What can I do today realistically? And I'm not necessarily a hard next person. People have always said that I am, but I don't know. But anyway, it works. So
I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
Give me some index cards.
yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's so with Amazon, it's not like you can buy a little stack like when you're kids and with the stationery store. You've got to buy this money, but it works.
So let me ask you, what do you do with them when you're done?
Throw them away or transfer something not done to a new one or
Okay.
to a list.
Okay. I like that.
Keep it in my pocket, 'cause I don't carry a purse anymore, just keep it in my pocket.
That's an excellent
So
idea.
nothing falls through the cracks. I'm fearful with, so I have ADD, I'm afraid it's gonna fall through the cracks. And then
You sound like me. You sound like me when I go to work. I'm always looking at something, okay, whatever.
I jokingly said put most of it on my forehead, but I can't see.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you for that. I love it. Okay. Ooh, practicing gratitude. You just say, we wake up in the morning, I'm just grateful that, I have opportunity to. I'm grateful, traffic sucks, so I'm grateful that I have a car. And transportation, life is life. We have to pull the more positive things out of life. Things are going to happen. They're always going to happen. It's how you process them and how you mold them for your own benefit, and it's a process. Establishing what?
The way I seen somebody do it, I don't remember who it was, but they took a jar and they said, your big things are rocks. And you put your rocks and your big rocks in first, and then your medium things are little pebbles, then you put those in. Because if you put the little things in first, and the big things won't get done. So I thought that was really, really cool how they did it. You put the big rocks, your big things that you need to do in the jar first, so that, and then you put the pebbles in there, which represents, the medium things, and then the small things are sand that you can just fill in. It kind of gives you an idea of your day.
Yeah, I like that. Definitely. Anybody have a thought? You all feel free to blurt anything out.
I think practicing gratitude where I work, sometimes the manager, we have all facility meeting every other Friday on payday. She also says, she inspires us, and she says, flip your story. So, if I am behind a car, let's say work left work lane, and then there's an accident, and I travel on the interstate, instead of getting grumpy, I think, flipping the story, I'll listen to my book on tape, or whatever, but it wasn't me in the accident. So it's flipping, it's the gratitude is, how can you find thankfulness in something? That goes back to creativity too.
Yes, I love it. And furthermore, we look at those things and we say, I'm glad it's not me, but we should take a step further and pay it forward and say, I hope everything's okay.
Exactly.
I hope everything, we're so quick, we want to look around, but we're not adding anything of value to that. You're just watching, So yeah, I love that. Establishing healthy boundaries. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Okay. I love my brother. I love my sister. This is hypothetical. But my brother, every time we go see mom, it's always an issue. He always stresses me out. She wants him to come. That's cool. But I can't go with you. We have to go at different times. Setting boundaries. It's okay to say it's Mother's Day. We want to come up together. He needs a ride. I'd rather give you money for an Uber. I don't want you riding with me. We have to be able to say those things. Because we're in relationships and in interactions that are not healthy for us, that are causing turmoil in our lives, and we have to be able to realize when we're doing that to other people. Like my husband said, I've taught him patience. I always thought he was a patient man. And as I've grown a lot. When I look back on things, I'm like, darn. I'm very lucky. He's a very, 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 very patient man. I don't know anybody like him, but I have to realize where his grace and his allowance didn't make it okay for me to add stress. We have to be accountable for those things when it comes to having those balances. And then part of that is engaging in lifelong learning. This has been a learning process for me. What you just shared, all of you, I'm gonna use those things. There's always so much to learn and grow from. Dementia is a crazy thing to try to understand. and you really can't. So how do you process those things? You just kind of learn, well, dementia looks like this at this stage, at that stage, at that stage, but what does it look like on my mom, on my dad, on my we have to go through those learning processes and just fill those things out. Yes, ma'am.
Have you heard that dementia is now referred to as type 2 diabetes?
Say that again, it doesn't affect type 2?
She said dementia is now categorized as type 3 diabetes.
Oh, I had forgotten that.
Yeah,
Do you know why?
I don't see that. I heard about it this morning. I haven't taken the time to research more.
I listened to it on a podcast today at work from Daniel Asprey, and he wrote a book, he's got a pretty book. It has to do with mitochondria not functioning properly. And mitochondria not functioning properly also has to do with the food that you put in your body, including sugars. So that's all I remember is how I heard that's a only little tiny thing, and that's all I know for now.
Wow.
I was going through email and I saw it. I said I need to come back and read more about this because I was in the middle of something. But yeah,
Okay.
diabetes. So
Well, we're going to be doing some learning. And then seeking professional help when you need it. Thank you for sharing that. When you need it, don't be afraid to say I need some help. My husband always says, everybody needs counseling. Everybody can use counseling and coaching. A good therapist has a good therapist. A good pastor has a good pastor, right? So we all need somebody. And sometimes it's better to have people that are not in your immediate circle, where you can just really open up and just be honest. How are you feeling? I'm fine. You know what? I feel like crap today. I feel overwhelmed. I'm stressed out. I don't know what to do. But what's the but? This is how I feel, but where's the flip side, right? We have to be able to see that flip side. And that's how we wind up staying in depression because, this is how I feel, it's how I want to feel because the world is how it is. And I just have to feel this way because it's just easier, and we stay in that state of mind. And then all of a sudden you look up and you've been this grumpy old person. That's just how she is. He's always been that way. You needed some counsel a long time ago. You needed some support a long time ago, right? So couple things, keeping journals, like she said. I don't like writing things on loose paper. I'm gonna try the card though. I think it's an excellent idea because I use the back of receipts. I'm always getting gas, so I'll write something on the back of a receipt and I don't know where it is. Yeah, so that's a great idea. But when you do those, when you jot your thoughts down, make sure you date them and time them. Especially if you're journaling, because you can go back and look at what's going on in that moment, and learn how to process from that. We talked about the daily motivation and meditating and then taking time for yourself. It is okay to take a break. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Know your boundaries again. Okay. And then, like she said, keep a schedule, prioritizing, 24 hours in a day, you can't do everything, right? So we're almost done. Talked about stress for family, for us, right? What about our family members with dementia? Do we all think that our loved ones get stressed out? They get stressed out. All because they have dementia, they're cognitively compromised, they still get stressed out, right? Can come from lack of consistency in daily routines. Like the same lady just asked, changing caregivers, environment, excessive loud noises, invasion of privacy. Okay, how many people know if I came over and just maybe took off one of your shoes or ran my hands in your hair or something weird like that, I tried to feed you, that'd be really weird, but that's what we see a lot of times, hey, come on, hey, what's going on? How you all doing over here? I'm about to feed you in just a second. Hold on just a second. What do you want to eat? Hold on. Real quick, before you go, hold on. Miss So-and-so needs to go to the bathroom. Hold on, I'm about to get to you in just a second. Let me see what this is. This is what's going on in a lot of facilities, not this one. No. Not traditions, not at all. But this is what we see a lot of times. And we don't realize why people are so stressed out as dementia patients because it's too much stimuli. Lack of family support. So you all are here. My dad, he's here every day. I don't remember though. He's never here. I never see my dad. I never see my son. But they're always here. but you don't remember that. But in their head, family's not there because you should always be there.
And I remind them, I am on your side when it comes to this. And I had a lady, she's passed away since then, but she used to always want to call her son. And then when I let her call, she laid into him. You haven't been, when he was here the day before, and I know he was here the day before, but they lay in. So I learned that, I have to be careful with letting them call, and because you all don't, especially when you've been here. And I reinforce it, hey, your loved one or your son was here yesterday or your daughter was here yesterday, and I know this because I was here. They don't remember, but you try to make them remember, let them know that, that they're loved and that their loved ones are coming to see them. You just don't remember right. You just don't remember right. And that happens a lot. That happens a lot.
Something I would do with those phone calls? I would take my phone and put it on silent. And for those individuals that, I keep wanting to call, I just put my phone on silent and I just call my own phone. I'll give them the phone. Leave a message. They can call all they want. That way you're not causing, if I told you that, your son was just here, now I'm arguing with you. Now I'm challenging what you know. You know what I'm saying? So why not just, your daughter was just here. They don't remember, They just said, well, you know what? She'll be right back. She said she's going to go to the store. She said, she had to pick up, the grandkids. So she'll be back, just hang out with me. We have to learn how to kind of work around that. You have to live in their reality, right? Feelings of loss or lack of control. I don't know if you guys have ever seen, what is his name? Grandpa. What's Grandpa's name?
Ed Salinger.
Ed Salinger. If you all look at YouTube, he has dementia, and people have watched his life with dementia, and he even has apparel. It says, "Where's my wallet? Where are my keys?" And he's like, "Where are my keys? Where are my keys?" He's arguing about this wallet and these keys. I'm like, "Well, just give him a fake wallet. Just give him a wallet with something in it." The problem with that is now you've got this wallet and you've lost it. And so now we're back to so it's a tricky balance. Why don't I have the keys to my car? Why can't I drive? I'm the parent. So how are you going to tell me I can't drive? And they're serious about that. Lack of trust from family members or caregivers. It can be so sad to see people, some people call it, being dropped off at a facility. We have to have more grace and mercy with that. It is so hard to place your loved one. And we don't understand, but I have to drop you off, right? I got to drop you off right here until I'll be right back and take off running because there's no other way. And now all of a sudden, my kids have left me here. They've taken all my money. They robbed me, and this is what's going on, So this is their reality. I have a guy and he's so cute. He's memory care, but he's, kind of stage 1. And he's swerving down. I don't know what happened. I do his wound care. I don't know what happened. I came back after a week and he was like, my wife left me, didn't you? She left me and she took all my money. Now she's remarried. I'm like, well, but he knew I just saw him last week. I'm like, okay, well, I want to say, well, I just saw you last week. So she married that quickly? I don't know. I know she took all my money, $300,000. I'm like, that's unfortunate. Let me see if I can find out something. Do you have her number? In my other bag, I do. But I'm sure, you walk through that process, but that's their reality, seeing these things, it can cause, what does it say? Increased stress in individuals may be expressed, by increased depression, progression of dementia. And that's a big thing. When things continue to be jumbled in somebody's head like that, dementia progression is real because now you don't have control of what's going on and you're literally losing your mind. And that's a scary thing and it's a sad thing to watch. Thoughts of suicide. We never think that our seniors think about that. They might not have a plan, but they're thinking to themselves, if I didn't have to. I've heard, God, why am I still here crying? Why don't you take me? Those thoughts are real, and just that feeling alone. They might not be active in trying that, but the thought alone is disparaging. So we have to consider those things. You might see people get aggressive with family and caregivers. Physically combative, verbally combative or aggressive. Again, if I start taking off your shoes and carrying on and going through your, you probably be like, what the, like, what's happening here, And so when you can't find the words and find the rationale to why somebody's walking along and now we're here for the shower. No, we're not. No, we're not, So we have to be more compassionate with that. Especially as family, we have to realize that they're still our loved ones. They're just different. We're all different. Hopefully we're all different than we were 10, 20 years ago. They're just different. And you just have to see them for who they are. When we get them, when we see them on memory care, they're combative with you, they're cursing you out, they don't want to do what you want them to do. But for us, that's just how John is. He's always cursing at his skin, come on, John. Okay, yep, got you. Come on, let's go to the bathroom. We're not disturbed, you're bothered because that's not my dad. He doesn't do that. He was a pet, but this is who they are now. Okay. So we're almost done. Ways to manage and improve stress levels with individuals living with dementia. Speak slowly and clearly. Make eye contact. I've had so many senior citizens tell me that I speak so quickly that I don't understand you. We have to slow down because you only hear so many words out of a whole sentence. What is, I think it's like they hear like one out of every 4 words or something like that. So when you're, okay, Mr. Smith, let's go to the bathroom because you just ate. And when we get done going to the bathroom, then we're going to go ahead and get in the shower. And then we're going to go outside. And they're looking like, we're going where? I heard John, I heard, and that's all they got. And now they're confused while you're being, they're carried along because they didn't catch any of that.
Yeah, you have to be patient, with dementia patients. None of them are the same. And I say this every time,
Mm-hmm.
None of them are the same. All the residents I've had, probably over 100 since I've been up here, none of them dementias are the same. But you can limit the stress on them by conversing with them, by taking your time with them, by being patient with them. And there are some people you can say, come on, let's go, and they just get up and go. They're okay with it. But there are some that you need to sit down and talk to them. You need to be patient with them. Hey, you're wet. We need to go ahead and get back, okay? We're gonna take you back and get you changed. Oh, okay, you see you're wet right here. You can, and when they see it like that, and okay, well, let's go, and there is, but when you sneak around them, or not necessarily sneak, but just jump up on them, it makes them afraid. It makes them, aggressive, and they can get combative.
Yeah.
So you have to be patient. You have to be patient. You have to be respectful, and just take your time with it. There's no rushing. There's no rushing because when they're ready, they're ready. If they're not, then they're not.
What can you do? I've read things that say, don't use the word, don't you remember? Okay, if we're talking about something and he doesn't remember, what can I say that, well, don't you remember we went here, or, this or that? What words can you use?
Maybe just pretend it's the first time you've heard that question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because, I struggle with the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And just today, driving over here, I was like, Mom, no, I work at something. She doesn't understand. Well, but anyway, so maybe just pretend like you heard it for the first time. Maybe that's a thought.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
You know how often I say things over and over again?
Mm-hmm.
All the time. It's not a big deal to me. It isn't. I don't mind it. I do it all the time. I mean, all the time. And it's not a big deal. I'm used to it. I'm comfortable doing it. I'm very patient doing it. So it does, but that is how you do it. They don't remember telling you. They don't remember you telling them. There's no reason to get them frustrated or whatever. Just, I'm telling you for the first time now. That's all they need.
I was just gonna say, a lot of times I remember my relative, I would always say, well, don't you remember and she had gotten to a point, and she is now, where if I start any sentence like that, she'll automatically say no.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I've programmed her.
Oh.
So what I will do now is say, I remember.
Yes.
And I take it like in a story form, very, very brief. And I notice she listens more, and she might even have a recollection of something that that individual did as well at that point in time.
Mhm.
But starting it with, do you remember or don't you remember?
Mhm.
Remember? They realize that, and I think that
Yes.
that gets them to a point. I know with my relative, she's gotten to a point where her short-term memory is practically, 5 seconds, perhaps at that. So I really have to, as you were saying, not give so much information,
Right.
because half of what I'm saying is not that important.
Mhm.
You know, it's what's useful to her at that particular time.
Small batches of information at a time.
Mhm.
I'm learning, and I think it's a learning process for all of us.
Mhm.
I had a mother-in-law who had a different type of dementia, and so with my relative now, they're as different as night and day,
Mhm.
but it's still, they're not remembering anything, and the behaviors are different.
Mhm.
So I did have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I noticed that in looking through your pamphlet, there's a lot of good information, all of it is good information here. There was a time when medical professionals would identify a particular type of dementia.
Mhm.
Is it that they're not doing that anymore and they'll say frontal, temporal, or they'll say Lewy body.
Mhm.
But other than that, I mean, everything in this packet works for all of us.
It does, and I think it's so tricky to diagnose, unless you are following the history behind things. Like with Lewy bodies is something really just different. It's just different. Like it just hits harder, and it's
Very
more progressive, and that's how you know that's what it is, versus you would assume that it's vascular. If somebody had a stroke, you would assume, if somebody got, head trauma, you would assume it was frontal lobe dementia, but there are so many other things that can be going on. So I don't think they're comfortable saying it, I think, a lot of doctors, somebody told me once, a doctor told her, we can't say that we're healers. We can say that we practice medicine. They'll always be practicing, because they don't have all the answers, and I think they try to play that safe because we see it so often now. Like we said, what's going on with the food and the water, all these chemicals and everything is changing our makeup, so it's really tricky to try to define. And actually with Alzheimer's, you can't actually diagnose Alzheimer's until after the person has passed away and they do, the autopsy on your brain. So, which is why, they use dementia as an umbrella for everything.
Maybe kind of like autism nowadays, it's on the spectrum, they say being on the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's like it's the manifestation of all these different things, or it's unique as the person is unique.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So what was I going to say? Include them in the plan of care. So if I'm talking to you about your dad, Mr. Tardy, he has been doing good today. He's doing better today than he was yesterday. Well, Mr. Tardy's sitting right here. So talk like Mr. Tardy sitting right here and say, Mr. Tardy, I want to share with your daughter. I'm so glad she's here. I want to share with her that, you're doing better. We're so glad you're doing good. Your therapy was good. We have to stop talking over them like they don't matter. Giving them options, even when that might not be the end choice. Well, I don't want to go down to eat. Well, if you go down to eat, we can come back and watch TV. As a matter of fact, Matlock's coming on, so let's go down to eat real quick so we can hurry back and get to Matlock. We have to give them options. Otherwise, they feel like they're not in control, and then you have behaviors. Allow adequate time with them. So if I'm sitting here visiting, well, I'm on the phone because you're visiting with someone that doesn't know how to use a cell phone because they grew up with landlines. So whatever you're doing on this device, like stop it, spend time. And that is so important. We're so distracted all the time. We have to be more involved when we're there. Otherwise you're there and they're looking at you like you're not here, because you're treating them like they're not there. Right. And then avoid dealing with your loved ones with negative vibrations. I'm frustrated, my son and, upset me now. I'm late. I gotta go see my mom, and I'm just so frustrated with him. He's not going anywhere this weekend. Yada yada. Now I brought that over here. And you can feel that energy. They might not know what's going on, but your energy is radiating. So put on a happy face, or just take the day off and don't show up. Write in your journal and figure it out. So avoid discussing matters that will cause increased anxiety and confusion. And last but not least, never end a visit on less than a positive note. I drive my husband crazy because I'll be on the phone talking. All right, talk to you later. Love you. Oh, by the way, okay, love you too. Love you too. Talk, and we'll go back and forth. That's the last thing I want you to hear. My children, my son makes me so mad. He'll leave at the house. I'm like, he knows I was here. He could knock on the door and tell me he loved me. It's so important because we only get one time, until it's the last time. So that's so important to consider. All the relationships some of them are gonna be either or gratitude or regret. You want to have more gratitude than regret. Everybody says, I wish I was there when she passed. Well, of course, everybody wanted to be there, but it's not, that doesn't always happen. But can you be grateful that the last time you saw someone, it was on a positive note? All we can do is what we can do. There's no sense in weighing ourselves down with things that we cannot control. And when we try to, it just makes a bigger mess. So be intentional. Got to put you first in order to help everybody else. If the glass is half full or half empty, we want to have an overflow. That's what we want. It doesn't matter if it's half full or half empty. Until it's overflowing, the glass is for you. Whatever the content is for you. You want the overflow so that you can sustain, so you can be enduring and resilient when you're giving care, when you're serving, when you're being an advocate. So never be afraid to ask for help. You have it here at Traditions. You have an awesome team here. You all are awesome. I know because she talks about you all, and it's always positive things. Get the support you need and share it with others.
I took care of her father before I even knew.
Mm-hmm.
I was taking care of Mr. B before I even knew, about her mom and stuff. And now, yeah.
Okay.
You all are very important in the way I do things up there. So I do need you all to give me feedback. Even if I look, maybe I might get a little look on my face. Give me the feedback anyway. It helps me to be better at what I do. And I'm always trying to get better. I'm always trying to provide better service for my residents. I'm always trying to. So if there's anyone, I'm always welcome to. Always.
Even simple things like where to find her glasses when she loses them. Down in the side of the recliner.
I hear you.
Hold on. I have a drawer with about 80 pairs of glasses. I'm for real. I don't. If I would say, I have one lady that she has her husband. She takes a whiteout and she puts on her glasses. So and with that whiteout, I'm able to recognize his glasses. But most of them, I look at them, mm-hmm. I don't know where they got. I don't know. Yeah. Give me something to work with. Yeah, it's tough. Sometimes they don't. And as dementia goes, they don't even remember that they wear glasses. Mm-hmm. I got some people up there with cell phones now that they can't manage them. They can't manage the cell phone. Hell, they can't even manage the remote for the TV. I mean, they're every day because they done kicked it out of the program. So yeah, help, whatever help, I'm always welcome. Text me, call me, email me, send me a message, smoke signal, violence, just send me a message. I'm always willing to get better.
Definitely. That's all I have. If you all have anything to add or have questions, please feel free. So I do not want to hold you up. I do want to tell you all a little secret. I heard that next month for Dementia Support Group, I heard that Kevin Tardy is doing an open rap session where you all can just chat with him and just be one-on-one with him.
Whatever you want to talk about, any questions you want to ask, how I run the day, because my plan is to, and this is my plan, is to go through the day, tell you what time I get here, how do I start my day, how do I take care of the residents throughout the day, how my crew does it. That's my plan. And if you got any questions about it or any comments or anything, the next one's gonna be the time to ask it.
Yes, I'm excited.
And always, if you got something that you want answered, shoot me an email, shoot me a text. Shoot me an email and text. We get an answer. Yeah.
All right, that's all I have. On that last page, this is a big old thing. It's so big. But on the back of this is my website information. I am really big about advocacy. So if you all need something, my information is on there. You can always email me as far as coaching, as far as support for just individual support. I can't overstep boundaries as far as what goes on in traditions. But if you all need support, I don't charge mature adults. I don't want to call anybody seniors. I'm a senior, but I want to pay it forward, So the coaching was because, as far as pricing, is because people keep just doing silly things, and I just don't want to keep giving my time to people that do silly things. So, but I do love to help people out of the goodness of my heart. So if you all need anything, as far as coaching support, and just balance, I am here for that. This young lady here, Miss Edith, she is with Peak Home Care Associates every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. We do a live broadcast on YouTube. We talk about women's health. We talk about diabetes. We talk about everything healthcare. That's all we talk, everything healthcare. All kinds of different subjects. So if you all want to catch that, it's Peak Home Care Associates on YouTube. If you go to my website, under the videos, all those videos are there for you. So you can find them there. You can just click on there and go to them. If you want some extra support and just engagement as far as healthcare, and we just chatted up about, like we just chatted up here, we just chatted up about what's going on and just try to share information. So another resource for you all. So we are here for you all. Everybody's here. Seems like we're here for one another. You all gave great feedback and insight. Some things I'm gonna go ahead and use personally for myself. So thank you all so much for your time. Thank you all for being great advocates for your loved ones. You all rock, okay? As long as you're doing the best you can, that's all that matters. You all rock. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dad.
Thank you.
Last but not, if anybody have anything for me? Anybody? Thank you. 59 today. I'm 59.
You might have to sing to yourself. Not to sing to you.
Yeah, I was 30. Oh, thank you, babe.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, I was 39 at the beginning of the meeting. Kind of changed. I was, her dad, man. His dad is my buddy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my buddy. That's the deal. He likes we get firm handshakes.
Thank you so much, everyone, for coming.
Let me ask you a question. So, recently,